Welcome back. Welcome back to the session. Before we went to the break, okay, we have discussed about a few things like custom custom converters and standard converters. Also, we have been discussed. Then we have started also discussing about your standard validators, how to use that we have been discussed. Now, okay, we are going to discuss about the next thing, that is nothing but your custom validator, how to use that a program we are going to discuss, and then we will be starting with the next thing, that is nothing but your page flow in a web application, how to use also we will see now. Okay, so let me start with the custom validator. So custom validator, I just want to create a custom validator for implementing the email validation. Let me go for an email validation. How I do the email validation for using a custom converter, that we are going to discuss. With a simple demo, we are going to see that. Okay. So fine. So let me go with that. So we'll take a small demo. So what I will do is, so this is a demo which I've already created. We'll implement that. So here you could see there is a validation for the email which you want to implement. We'll write a custom validator. So what I will do is, okay, I'll create a sample JSF page which is which will do the email validation. So I'm writing here email validate demo. Email validate demo is the page which I'm implementing. In this page, what I'm going to do is, okay, I will implement a sample code, that is the UI creation code which I will add it over here. That's a simple one. Okay, enter the email address, and here from form. Okay, so from form I'm copying this code. Just I'll put the UI code, enter the email, enter email. And you could see that, okay, there is a validator which I want to add, okay, validator ID. Then it has been given, you can see that, okay, ECV is a validator ID. Okay, that means, okay, this ECV is the validator, okay, the custom validator's name which I have been specified. As you know that, okay, in a custom validator, we'll specify the name of that. Okay, that name what I have given, it is nothing but your ECV. And next, because it is the F validator is a custom your core tag library which is it will contain, so hence, okay, I'll add that. I've added that, okay, core tag library tag also. So then, okay, this is a sample one, and email, because email is a bean, so hence I need to create also in managed bean I need to create, which is containing email as a bean name, and email is the property also which will be contained there, and then it is going to validate. And well, for validation we require again a validator, custom validator class which we need to be specified here. So that the next one, okay, I need to create a managed bean. You could see that, okay, the step 3 is to add a managed bean to the web application. It is very simple. So we know how to add a managed bean. Right click on that, then you go for new, then JSF managed bean, and you specify that, okay, managed bean name is email, and the package I will say that, okay, it is com package which I want to use. So finish. Alright, I'll go for scope. So this is my email as a managed bean which I have implemented. At the managed bean is the annotation which we are using, and the name of the managed bean, it is nothing but your email. If you want to use the property eager is equal to true, that you can specify also. Now in the email your managed bean, we can write a property called as email as a string property, and I need to write the getter methods and setter method for the same, so we need to add that. So that is finished about the email as a managed bean. I have created that, and then I need to add my validator, custom validator class I need to add. So add a Pojo object to the application, that is Pojo class. Add email validator. I say validator. rather it will say custom validator class. Okay, Pojo object to the application which we need to be added here. Okay, add a custom validator class Pojo object to the application here. So this is my email validation.java. Here you could write the code also here. Now this is what I need to implement. This is the name of the class. It will be email validation.java. So at faces validator ECV is the validator, and here you can see that okay, it is implementing email validation implements the validator, and you could see that okay, there is a string which is called as email pattern. This is basically the regular expression which is containing will validate the email. Okay, that is the purpose what I have kept here, the string pattern. I've created a pattern and matcher. Okay, this pattern and matcher is the class which you have studied in the core Java. If you remember, for the regular expression, we have implemented this particular class. And we have written a validator, validate method which will take faces, context, object, UI component, and object value is the 3 parameter which will be taking. And remember that okay, this particular method which will be executed whenever okay, we are binding this email validator with the with your UI component, that time it is going to execute. Now matcher dot okay, pattern matcher value dot to string which I have given, and if the matcher is not matching, then you have to okay, create a message and the severity error level, and then you have to throw that particular exception message. Okay, so that is what the validation validate method which has to be done. Okay, so this is a sample validation code which you have to write. So I will go for that. Okay, so I'll add that Pojo type of class. So Java class, because it is a Pojo class, so hence I need to add a Pojo class here. Email validation. Okay, email validation is the class which you have to use, and the package which I am using, that is nothing but your com only. And let me okay, copy paste this particular code over there. So because the same code which I have to write. Alright then. So now the next one, this is my email validation. You could see that okay, the let's see that. Now this is what we have been implemented for email validation. This is a simple Pojo class which will work as a custom validator class. That's it. Okay, the name of this validator, it is nothing but your ECV, and it is using this ECV as the ID also it has been used. So this is my custom validator which we are using. And the last one, it is nothing but your, if the email is proper, then okay, it has to display that email with a success page. So hence I'll copy this code, and anyway we have the success.xhtml, it is there, which will display the product price, but now it will also display the email. So value enter action. Fine. So that is the point which you have done. Okay, let me go with this. So from index.html, I'll write a command button where it will go to that. Okay, we have to say email validate demo. Okay, so That is how we have been implemented. Okay, action is equal to email validate demo. So command button value equal to email validation. This is how we are implementing. Click on the email validation, enter the email address. Okay, so if you have given some email address, when you click on the enter, you can see that okay, email validation is failed. Why? Because it is not a proper email ID. Now if you want to give some other correct email ID, then okay, it will be displayed to you. So click on enter now. Now your email is gagan@gmail.com. Okay, so this is the kind of way how you can be implemented. A sample email validation, if you want to do, you could do that also. This is a simple implementation which we can use. We can specify the error level. Okay, that is what the severity level which we are specifying here. And we have here, this is a message which we need to be created, because in the validation exception, this message we need to pass. That will contain the email validation and the invalid email format, whatever the message which is there. That okay, message you have to pass it over here. Hence, okay, we need to tell that. Alright then, that is all about your how a simple validation in your custom validator, if you want to use and you want to implement it, then okay, we can go for your custom validator and we can implement the custom validator in our program also. So that things about your simple validations and all, if I want to use, I could use that. So this type of your simple validation, I can be using this. So either standard validator I can use, or I can use also the custom validator also. Can skip it, I think. Okay. So this is all about your validator which we are talking about. So when you are taking the value, so when you are taking the user input, okay, if you want to validate that particular value, so these are all the ways by which we can validate the user input also. Now the next part, okay, which you are going to discuss, that is nothing but you're managing the page flow in a web application. If I want to do, then how do I do that? How I can implement the page flow in a web application if I want to implement? How I can implement? This is my chapter 4 which we are going to discuss now. So please see to this. Okay, we are going to discuss about the chapter 4 where we are discussing about the managing the page flow in a web application if I want to do. How do I do that? In a normal page flow, when we are talking about with a normal page flow, okay, one page to the another page if I want to move, okay, for a now instance what we are doing, we are generally okay using the command button or a command link we are using, and we are moving from one page to the another page. That is a simple way how we will generally move from one page to the another page. Till now, this okay, until this we are doing that. But however, okay, if you want to use some kind of your some kind of your conditional based navigations or anything, if I want to do, then how do you do that? Okay, that is what we are going to implement in our apply navigation to the web pages. So this is your 4th chapter which we are discussing now, apply navigation to a web pages. If I want to implement, how do I implement that? That's we are going to discuss now. Let me start with that. So applying navigation. So when you are applying the navigation, moving between the one web page to the within a website is known as navigation. We can go for smooth navigation. The path of the page, okay, which is we are knowing that is nothing but your navigation path also we say. One page to the another page, okay, the path to move to that particular page, whatever you are specifying. So that is called your okay navigation path, and from moving between one page to the another page is called your navigation. So obviously we are doing that okay navigation using okay either clicking on a button. So what are the ways we are doing? Clicking on a button after entering some values with that, okay, that is way also we are moving from one page to another page. Either okay you type the hyperlink, okay, clicking on a hyperlink by which also we are moving. So you can create an hyperlink and move that page. or else okay, you can type the URL, whole URL we can type in the web browser, through that also we can move. So the primary concern from the web application to manage the navigation between pages from one web page to another web page when you are moving. There are certain problems which are there, whether the data has to be carried or should not be carried, that all the concerns which is there. So JSF has given the navigation model which is easy to define the page navigation, which will allow you to handle any additional processing needed. So that is what the JSF navigation can be implemented. Let us still see that how exactly it can be implemented, that we are going to discuss now. Navigation, how we could do, that we are seeing. Based on the user action, JSF supports two different kind of your navigation. One is called your static type of your navigation, and second one it is called your dynamic navigation. These are the two different type of your navigation. Generally what your JSF will be supported. Now see, in case of your static navigation, which we know that a simple navigation from one page to another page, we have written in a command button or in a hyperlink and we are moving to that, that will be called as a static navigation. We are not specifying any kind of your conditions or anything. So that is called your static navigation. But however, if you want to go for the dynamic navigation, in that case, that means you want to specify that a condition, and based on the condition, then the page it has to move to a particular page. If I want to do like that, then it will be called as a dynamic navigation also. How do I do that? How I can implement that? So this is what your login. So login.xhtml, which is there, the page, main page which is there. If your login is correct, we'll go to the welcome.xhtml. If your login is not incorrect, then you'll go to the error.xhtml. This type of implementation of the code, if we want to do, that will be called as a dynamic navigation. Generally, in this case, normally in the case of your, when you are using the servlet and all, we used to use the dynamic dispatcher, that is nothing but your request dispatcher, which we used to implement, by which we dispatch the request conditionally from one page to the another page. Basically, this is what we used to do. So one page to the another page when you are moving. So the dynamic dispatcher we used to use, the request dispatcher class interface we used to use, and we used to write the code for moving from one page to the another page also. That's the basic way how you move from one page to the another page also. Is it clear now? Alright, static and dynamic navigation, how do you do? Now, so navigation again provides, that is implicit navigation which you do, that is automatic navigation, or you have to specify some rule, rule-based navigation or conditional-based navigation also you can be specified. So to implement static or dynamic, it has given implicit navigation or rule-based navigation. Coming to the implicit, that is automatic navigation which you are saying, that is called your static navigation. And the user will navigate from one page to the another by clicking either a link or a command button. That will be called as the implicit navigation. It is not a new thing for us. Already we are doing that. So one page to the another page, we are clicking on command button, we are moving to the success page, we are moving to the result page. That all the things will be called as a implicit navigation also. So that is not a new for us. But whereas in the case of your rule-based navigation, when I'm talking about the conditional-based navigation, if we want to do, in that case, we can implement the rules which we need to be specified in the faces-config.xml file, which we can be specified. In that, we need to specify the rules. That is, we have to do in the navigation. If the user pass the request using the URL, it is also the part, that is also the part of your static navigation only. It is not a dynamic navigation. Dynamic navigation means conditional navigation, which you want to write that particular rules and everything in a faces-config.xml file, which you want to write, where we are going to specify the rules. Whatever the rules you want to specify, that we need to specify in the faces-config.xml, where we want to write the code. So that is the code where it will specify that where it has to move, whether it has to move to a X page or Y page, to which particular page it has to move, that we can be specified in the faces-config.xml file which you need to write. This is like basically a faces-config.xml is a XML based file, just like a web.xml file and all, but okay, which can contain the code of this kind, where we can write the code for navigating from one page to the another page by using the some tags. We need to write some condition, we need to be specified, and these are the some of the rule based navigation tags which we can be followed, like navigation rule, from which view ID, navigational case, from which action, outcome, view ID. So these are all the different type of your tags which you are going to use as part of your navigation. Okay. Now this is the navigation rule which I can write, like if I'm saying, here you see, there is a sample example which has been given over here, you can see to that. This is my page, that is the register.xhtml page which has been provided over here. There is a small page called as register.xhtml page which has been provided here. In this register.xhtml page, the JSF page, where you can enter the name, age, date of birth, user ID and the password which you will be typing. And then we can click on the submit button. Enter the name, age, date of birth or user ID and the password. Now you want to validate this particular code. Enter the name or age, whatever the value which has been given. If all the values are proper, then it will go to the welcome.xhtml page. Other than that, it should not go to that page. So such kind of validation, if you want to be implemented, how do I implement that? So this is what we experiment in the navigations. Let us really talk about that. How I can implement this. So this is what we are going to write. So if that is proper, then it has to go to the success.xhtml. So if I want to write like that, then we'll need to write this code in the faces-config.xml file, where we'll write that. So what I'm writing, navigation rule from view ID, from which page the request will come, that is what you will be specifying. Register.xhtml, from that if any request will come, then the request values goes to the then it will be executed a navigational case, and what it is been executing, register bean, we are creating in that check logic is a method which you are going to execute actually. So please remember this is a method which you are going to execute now. Register bean.checkLogic is a method which will be executed. If that method is returning a value called as success, then to view ID which is going to be displayed, that is nothing but your welcome.xhtml page which will be displayed for you. If not, then it will be going to the some other case. So this is one navigational case which we have specified. Maybe another navigation case you can write that if the register bean.checkLogic is sending a say failure, in that case it has to go to the error page. Then we can write that to view ID error.xhtml. So this kind of your navigation, conditional navigation using your faces-config.xml page which you can be specified that. Is it clear now? Any questions? Check logic is a method. Not that you have to be a static method. It can be an instance-based method. Any questions? Any questions? Okay, I got some questions. Let me go through that. Okay. Check logic is a predefined. No, it is not a predefined method or anything. It is our own method which you need to be specified. It is not that, okay, compulsorily it has to be check logic. We can write any of our method also. That can be specified. Can we use other operator like logical or comparison operator? Where do you want to write this? Maksud, can you please be clear where exactly you want to write? That is okay. What is that? Okay, return value of the check logic method that will be comes under the from outcome. Pallavi, this is your question. To view ID is nothing but to which page it has to navigate. Okay, that is the to view ID it will be used for. To view ID means the page that will be open. So success is the return value from your method, that is whatever the method which you have specified in that. Because you may pass error or you may pass success, right? Depending on that. From action it is nothing but you can say, okay, which particular method need to be executed. That we can say that, okay, it is a from action. So I'll show you a small example, okay, where it will display a simple validation. Simple navigation part. That is conditional based navigation, which we are going to discuss now, a simple one. So let me start with that. Okay. Any question? Can I return any other data apart from success or error? Yes, we can do. Set your web camera properly. From Jayanagar Center, can you please set your web camera properly? SLS guest 1.
Is connected to me?
Yes.
Connected to me?
Yes, only. I have connected to you.
Hello?
Only.
Sorry. Hello?
I think I am not able to see your face. I think it is blurring. Okay, fine, not a problem. Yeah. Can you please tell your question?
So we are writing logic, business logic, right, in the register pane. Instead of success and error, can we return the integer data or some other data? Here we are given, depending on the success and error, it is going to other pages, right?
Yes. We can write any code and depending on whatever the return value. It is not that, okay, I have to write success and error only. Any kind of value, whatever you are specifying in the return as a return value, that's the same value which you need to be specified over here as a from outcome. Maybe you have written, okay, that is instead of success and failure, you have written some XYZ and ABC also. But the same values need to be written here also in the from outcome.
So it has to be string only.
Basically.
It has to be string.
Because normally, okay, this will be outcome we are expecting as a string only. The method, it is expecting string only. Okay, so that is way how it is going to check. Okay, and most of the time that is what we are doing, right? Okay, even in the case of your logic also, we are writing the string part, conditional navigation. Now mostly you'll see this is an you can say substitution for the request dispatcher type, which are implementing in the servlet request dispatcher which we are using. Same thing, okay, we are implementing that with an XML based tags we are using and we are implementing, nothing else.
Okay, currently if it is success, it is going to welcome.xhtml. What if it is error? Where do I write that?
Camera lens. Okay. Can you check the camera lens? Fine, not a problem. Please leave. Not a problem, please leave. Fine then. Please go ahead with the question, what you asked.
See here, the return, depending on the return type, it is going for the success. If it is success, we are forwarding the control to welcome.xhtml, right?
Correct.
What if it is in case of error? Can I write again to_view_id error.xhtml?
Yes, we have to write another navigational case. So 2 navigational cases will be there in that. Okay, so 1 navigational case we have written over here. 2 navigational case will be there. So that time from action again register bean.check logic where okay, the from outcome if it is an error, then to view ID it will be error.xhtml. So that is way how you are going to write. And the same demo which I am going to display to you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thanks.
Fine. Alright then. So let me show this particular demo to you. So what we have done, we have written a index.xhtml page. Write this. See here you have written username. I have written as a input text where we have customer.username, and password I have given that okay, password whatever you have customer.password required is equal to true. And the command button which we have specified, value is equal to login which I have given. And here you could see that okay, the command button action is customer, that is bean value dot custom validation. Okay, is the action, that is whatever the value which will be returned to that, okay, that which will be carried out. We have to add the information about the error.xhtml again in a different navigational case. Arun, we need to add that. No, because he has asked, because in my slide we are not talking about the error.xhtml. But okay, in that, okay, if you want to really want to go for error.xhtml also, we need to do that also. Am I clear now? Alright. So let us see this. Now this is my page, okay, username and password you will give, and this username and password which will move to, okay, which will be moving to the page, that is nothing but I have created a customer. In the customer, okay, this is the managed bean which I have created. In the managed bean, what I have done is, here you see, managed bean, the name of the managed bean, okay, we have been specified as the cust, and the customer which is implementing serializable, there are 2 strings are there, username and the password, and there is a customer constructor which is available, and there is a validation which I have written over here. You could see that. I am not writing any database logic code or anything, but okay, if I want to check that, okay, with the database, that is also can be possible. But here what I am done, okay, you have written over here, that's it. If username dot equals, okay, say cloud and password, if it is equals to NIT, then okay, it has to return success, else it has to return error. Then okay, you have written the getter methods and setter methods for the username and the password. That is a simple your managed bean which you have created, and this managed bean is containing a getter method, setter method for the properties, and one business logic method type, okay, which is for the customer validation. Alright, now okay, this customer validation will return either success or either error, it is going to return to us. Now what will happen, okay, so whenever you will give, okay, when you will click on the enter, okay, when you will click on the enter value, the customer validation need to be called, and accordingly the page which is going to be displayed for us. Now see, now here we need to write the code. You could see that okay, here we need to write the code, that is the configuration files. I have something in the file called as spaces-config.xml file. This file will automatically will not come, we need to add this particular file. Okay, how to add and everything I will tell you. Okay, so do not worry about that. So please see to this. Okay, navigational rule. What I have written the navigation rule in my faces-config.xml file. Okay, this is navigation rule from view ID, which is nothing but your index.xhtml. Navigational case. There are two navigational case which I have written for this. You can see customer validation. And if the outcome is success, then it has to go to the success.xhtml. And if the from outcome it is error, then it has to go to the error.xhtml. So these are the two navigational cases which you need to be implemented over here. That's a simple one. I have created in the faces-config.xml, and I have written the navigational rule which I have specified here. Now once we have specified that, then we can execute, and accordingly success page and the failure page we have been displayed. This is the success page, and this is my error page. The customer name was not found. It is going to display that. So this is a sample pages which I have developed for implementing a sample navigation also. All right. Now this now we'll see that navigation, how we can execute that. Let me execute it. There is a login page, username and a password. You can give that. Let's say you will go for NIT. You have written that cloud successfully logged in. I've given some other page. Sorry, cloud name was not found. So if you will give the proper password, then hi, cloud successfully logged in. Cloud is the name of that. If I giving any other name and password, then it will give an error to us. So such kind of things, if you want to be implemented, we can implement that. So for this demo, what we have to do, let us will see how we need to implement. Implementing dynamic navigation. You know that how to create a web application. Add the following code in index.xhtml. Index.xhtml. In that I need to add this particular code. This is the demo. So after done that, next where you have to move. We need to create a managed bean. We need to be specified. Create a managed bean called customer. So we know how to create a managed bean, right? Right click on the project. Then we need to use new Jsfhs managed bean. Give the name of the bean. Then give the name of the bean class. Give the name of the bean. And then give the scope. Then save, finish. You can, the class once you have been given, you can specify the package also. With the package name also you can give. So this is the managed bean which we can create. This is my customer.java file which will be created, which is a managed bean. and which is created in the model package. But doesn't mean okay you can create anywhere also. Okay, whatever the package you want to create, you can create there. So this is my simple okay managed bin, which has two properties and which is having a custom validation method and getter name and setter method which you have specified here. So this is a managed bin we have created. After created the managed bin, okay, we need to specify or we need to add your okay it is nothing but your faces-config.xml, where you need to write the navigational rules which you need to be written. Okay, so we'll see that what is the navigation rules which you need to be written and what is that. So how you can add that one? See, to add a navigate faces-config.xml file, which is very easy. You have to right click on that. We have to go for new. Okay, so if you are not getting here, you have to go to other Java server faces. Okay, so you can see that JSF faces configuration. You could see that okay, JSF faces configuration. This is what we have to implement. And here automatically faces config.xml file it will come, and you have to say finish. That's it. So because already the faces config.xml file it is there, hence I have not added. But okay, you can add like that. That I am doing okay in the next phase. I am going to do that. Okay, in the step 4, add the faces -config.xml file to your application. For that, okay, right click. Right click on the project, then we have to go to the new. Okay, then we need to move to the other Java server faces, JSF faces configuration. Then see, finish. Simple. That is why it will add the faces-config.xml file to your web application also. It will be added. Then okay, we need to add the code. So we need to add the following code to the faces-config.xml file. To that, okay, we need to add the code also. So what are that code? Faces-config. So this is the code which you need to add. There are two navigation rules which are there. So that we need to add. Navigation rule, okay, two navigational cases which has been shown. So that we need to add. Once you have been added that, okay, that is over. Okay, so now it is ready. The faces-config.xml file which is ready, okay, and we can write the code into it. Alright, any questions till now? Okay, this demo. Then we need to add the error.xhtml and success.xhtml. Okay, so in the last, okay, we need to add the last few files. Add the error.xhtml and success.xhtml file. These are the two files. I don't think that okay, this is we already know okay how to write a or how to add a certain JSF file, how to add also we know, hence we can easily add these particular pages. Okay, success.xhtml page which we can move. Okay, so this is the few things which we can be implemented. Now you can execute. So this is a sample demo which I have created. Okay, so please do that. Any questions here in this particular program? Do you have any questions? I want everyone to respond. Click on plus if you have understood this demo. If you have any questions, please ask. Any other questions? Click on plus if you have understood. If you have any questions, can you please type? I'm not getting the response from all of you. Can you quickly respond? So this is about the few demos which I have discussed, okay, about your how exactly the page which will go, okay, and how that it will move. So we have been discussed the navigational demo also. So it is very simple. Okay, so we can create a sample navigation or dynamic navigation we can create, and we can move from one page to the another page also. So we'll be moving down to the next part, okay, which is called your global navigation. If you want to use the global navigation, how I can implement that, we are going to discuss now. So this is about your dynamic navigation, what we have been discussed now. Okay, so we'll be moving to the global navigation rule. If I want to implement in our JSF programming, so how do I implement the global navigation rule, that we'll see now. So this is my part, the global navigation rule. In the global navigation rule, it will enable you to define a single navigation rule for navigating to the same web page for multiple web pages. Okay, so if you want to define, like from a multiple web pages, if you want to define to a single web pages for any request also. If I want to do like that, okay, then I can use a global navigation rule which we can be specified here. So for implementing this global navigation rule, okay, we need to implement the wildcard character, that is nothing but the star, which we need to be implemented. And to implement the global navigation rule, we need to remove the second point, which you have to take two steps. One is that, okay, you have to write the star. Second one, which is we have to implement, that is nothing but your from view ID. We can be specified that, okay, removing the from view ID element from the faces-config.xml file, where you have to use the star wildcard which we need to use. Second point, it is nothing but your from view ID, which I can see specified here. So these are the two things which I need to be implemented for implementing the global navigation rule. In our program, in our application, we can be specified the global navigation rule. The wildcard character which you are using, the star, is used to refer to all the web pages, whichever the web pages which are there in the web application. To represent that, okay, we have to use the star, and the character will be written in the from view ID element of the faces-config.xml file to implement the global navigation rule. So now how this, okay, global navigation rule which has to be implemented, we'll see that, okay, and we'll see that, okay, how exactly we need to write it also. In your faces-config.xml, to implement the global navigation rule, we need to specify from view ID. You could see that, okay, the from view ID you can write this star. Okay, that means from any of the web pages, any particular web pages. If you see that, okay, previously, just now which we have done, where we have specified that, okay, from view ID, we used to write a particular file. That is, if it will come from an index.xhtml page, okay, then this is the navigational case which has to be executed. But if you want to say that, okay, from any kind of your page, where whatever the page from where the request has come also, then it has to be executed. If you want to specify like that, okay, then we need to write the star. So star represents all the web pages. And here you need to write from outcome, that is nothing but your for home. That is, as you know that, okay, we have also specified as part of your, even just now what we have done, the small implementation in your faces-config.xml file. From outcome, which specify that, okay, what it is going to return, the value. So if the outcome value it is for home, then okay, it has to go to the home.xhtml page, and you can close. So this is a sample implementation code which you can be specified in the navigational rule. Arun, I think your system is having a problem because you are not being on air. Arun, can you please log off your system and log on, because I think I'm getting a problem with your system. Please log off and log on once. Okay. Please log off this system. From action, it is nothing but you will get, it is nothing but your which particular method we are going to get the outcome values. That will what your from action which will be executed. Like the method, any of the method, like customer validation, or maybe any of the product validation, any method which you are executing. So that method can be called in from action. It is a global navigation rule. We are not specifying anything here. Okay then. Any other questions? Then we'll specify the value. We'll specify the value in your where you are clicking on a button. There you can specify that. There we can specify the value. You can write like this. I'll show you the code. Okay. So this is the few things which we have been discussed about your global navigation rule, and we can write the global navigation rule if I want to have.
Hello. Hello.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes. Can you please speak now?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
I just want to know about the global rule. Yeah, declaring that just asterisk, that means the all inputs, whenever we provide the input, it will come from the this navigation rule. First thing. And the main concern is why we will use that. Suppose in the term of session, same as a session, if you want to create the session and we want to check the compulsion there is. Kind of compulsion means if you want that user will redirect on this page.
Okay. No. Basically, global rules will be global navigation rule, which you can be specified. Okay. For if a number of web pages, if your number of web pages, okay, want to come to a specific page. Okay. From any particular pages, maybe I have written that, okay, from accounts folder, any page also, if they will click, then okay, it has to come to the say main account.xhtml page. It has to come in account folder. In account folder, I have written, okay, some number of XHTML pages, maybe say corporate account, maybe you can say say generic account, like that. Many pages I have created, but any pages also, if I will click, then it has to come to the main account.xhtml page. It has to come in that particular page. Okay, then the global navigation rules which will be applied for you.
One more thing, if suppose if we want to check the user first logged in or not, in that case we can use the global rule?
No, that is not. The global rule will not check the specific value of that. No, that is the session value. It is not checking. It is not checking the session value. Now, get my point now?
So
any particular type of yes.
Yeah, I said that is the problem. Click on it if I want to open the particular account details, and it will come on the first page again, that the home.account.xhtml. So that is the problem, na? So
no, that is our intention also. No, that is our intention. Any page, okay, if you want to open also, if that is coming from this folder, then it has to redirect to this page. So that is if we want to do, then we will go for the global navigation. If you do not want to do that, then specifically you can write the navigational cases. We have specific navigational cases which we have said that particular UID, if it is coming, then it has to go to this page on a basis of the condition also you can specify. That's also you can give. But if it is, okay, you know that okay, certain pages it has to come to a particular page only, then you go for this global rule, navigational rule.
Okay, that
all right.
Means if we want to define a single link on every page, it will come from any page, then it will go for the particular page. It's like that?
Yes, you can think like I have some 10 links which is moving to a particular page only. But okay, I want to do that in a dynamic mode.
And all 10 links are available on a different pages?
Different pages.
Yeah, sure. Got it. Thank you.
Alright then. So this is what we can be implemented. You can define the global navigation rule for all the web pages in a particular directory also. If you want to implement also, you can give that. Okay, so that is in that particular folder, whatever okay the files are there, if they want to come to a particular page, okay, then also we can implement the global navigation rule. We can specify that. So this is all about some of the navigation rules which you have been specified. Now we'll go for one more kind of your navigation rule, that is conditional navigation also we'll see. So in a conditional navigation, what we do, okay, so in this conditional navigation, we can specify a special tag called as if tag, which we can be implemented. Now you can see that, okay, there is something called as, okay, there is, he has implemented here a small example of that. Recharge.xhtml, okay, your page which is there. In this recharge.xhtml page, okay, there are two radio buttons, either debit or it has to go to the credit. And there is a value which will be specified, that is nothing but your bean.java, okay, where it will contain that particular data and all. Now what we want, okay, if the value it is debit, okay, then it has to go to the debit.xhtml. Else otherwise, okay, it has to go to the credit.xhtml page, it has to go. So if you want to give this type of your condition also, if you want to be specify, okay, we have seen that, okay, the success and a method, if it is returning a success or error, accordingly we can also specify. But other way, we can also use something called as if condition I can use. So I need to use the if tag, that is the conditional navigation if tag I can use, and by which we can also implement that. So this is what I want to create. Mobile number, you will give the recharge amount and the account type, credit or debit. Accordingly, it has to go to the credit page or the debit page also. If I want to do like this, so what I can do, I need to write the navigational rule. You could see that navigation rule you are writing from view ID, which is nothing but your index.xhtml page which you are implementing. Navigational case, what is the navigation case? If bean.select account. Select account is a method, okay, which is, it is going to return me a value. Okay, so if that, okay, bean dot, after select account, this select account method will not return any kind of your value to us. We are not doing that. Okay, previously we have done that. That return method, then from outcome we used to write and then we used to execute the method. But this select account, what it will do, it will initialize the flag value. It will initialize the flag value to true or false kind of things. That is what we are implementing. So depending on that, okay, if it is true, then okay, it has to go to the credit.xhtml page. Bean is nothing but, okay, please remember, bean is nothing but your bean, managed bean object. If it is select account method, it will be called. Then okay, the flag value, if it is true, then okay, it will go to the credit.xhtml. If not, then okay, bean.select account, it will be called. Okay, if it is not, the flag is not true, then it will come to the debit.xhtml. If it is true, then credit.xhtml. If it is not, okay, debit.xhtml. The same thing which we have done in the case of your return, by returning the value, now it is nothing but your, okay, by using the flag value also we can check and we can use that conditional navigate element, that is nothing but your if tag also we can use. So this kind of things also I can use and I can implement, okay, the conditional navigation or the advanced navigation which I can implement. So these are the different way by which, okay, we can do the navigations, and these navigations which is it can be implicitly or it can be conditionally or dynamically, which you can do by using the various ways also. We can do that by using the if, or we can use by using the your methods or return value. All these are the different way which we can see. If there is an error, that is a different issue again. Okay, if there is an error, if it happening within, there is an exception or anything, that you have to redirect in a different way. That is error handling. It is not, okay, the part of the navigation part only. Flag is not a return value, it is a variable. Flag is not a return value, it is a variable. If there is no else part here. Here we do not have any else part here. So if else means you have to write another navigational case. It's a kind of simple if kind. type only, because for false we cannot execute anything. All right. Maybe that is you need to check. Okay, if it is not clicked any radio button, you may be writing the code for the validation that okay, user has not clicked any particular button and we have not got the value. Okay, so this is kind of your navigations which you have been implemented. These are all about your some of the validations, some of the navigational things which you have to know. I just want to show you that okay, tomorrow I can show you this if condition based based navigation example. I just want to show you tomorrow. Okay, this is a demo which I will show you tomorrow. This particular demo which is based on the if condition, how we can do that we will see. So the navigation which I will show you, the simple navigation and the conditional navigation. Okay, there are two demos which I will send it to you today. So please do that. Okay, this if condition based navigation I will do it tomorrow for you. Fine. So this is all about your how we can implement the advanced navigation. Okay, and how to implement that we have been discussed now. Yes, fine, not a problem. I did not get you. What is? I have to start. Yes, Arun. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
It's unmute. Are you getting me?
Okay. I'll show tomorrow. Okay, so this if conditional based demo, okay, which I will show it tomorrow. Okay, one demo which is there. Have you done some practices now, Arun?
Yes, sir.
Any demo? Fine, fine. I want all of you, okay, so I want, okay, please go through the different type of your websites also, because as we know that, okay, when we are learning as a faculty, we will go through the different websites. I want, okay, all of us can share the website so that, okay, the best example, if you can see, please share with us, okay, which I have given the group, okay, so please share with us so that, okay, everyone will be benefited out of it. I will share these all the demos again. Today also I will share all these particular demos which I have been discussed now. Okay, we'll put into the nitstaff.com, as well as I will see that, okay, whatever the email IDs which yesterday you have given, okay, because today I will get that report, so I will send it to you across with you if anyone has not joined. But please join that particular group because we can share, we can collaborate easily. Okay, Maksud. Fine. So let us, this is about the fourth chapter which we have been discussed till now, that is managing the page flow in a web application, how we can do that we have been discussed. So the next thing which we are going to discuss, that is nothing but chapter 5, that is handling the events, how we can handling the events, that we are going to discuss now. Let me start with that. Okay, so as we know that, okay, in JSF we need to know, okay, the event handling, because JSF has, okay, a unique feature that, okay, we have the event handling also possible in JSF. How it has to be implemented, that we need to see. Silpa. That is common. nitstaff.com, have you seen that? You have to go to the, what is it? nitstaff. You log into nitstaff.com generally? Not getting your audio. You can just go to the nitstaff.com delivery process, okay, cloud campus, that is a login, that is a link which will be there. Then you can move to the your BuddyNet learning site, and then you can go to the groups. From VV Mohalla Road.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please tell your name.
Hello.
Please
Hello, this is Jyoti, sir. Jyoti. Yeah.
Jsfhs _Ttt. I have given that name, the group name.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
So yesterday's group, yesterday also I have uploaded. Today also I will upload it. So please see to this. So now see that, okay, handling events. Okay, handling events is a mechanism of JSF, which is actually, okay, JSF has a unique this feature which is available. We can have the events, we can be specified to the JSF based UI tags. So now what are the different types of your event handling which is supported by this JSF based UI tags? Okay, that we are going to discuss also in this. So let me start with that. So let's see this, exploring the JSF event model. The user often interact with the web application by clicking a button or clicking on a hyperlink, okay, or maybe entering a value in the text field or selecting a value from the list box. All these are the different kind of your events which will be generated by the your components. Actually, the user will perform an action, component generate that your event. Please remember this. This is the way you should remember, so that, okay, our event modeling technique we can easily understand. User will perform an action. We can perform an action. These are all the actions. Clicking on a button, clicking on a hyperlink, giving the value to a text box, selecting the value from the list. All these are called as the action which will be performed by the end user. Now, whenever the end user perform an action on a particular UI component, okay, then the component generates the event. Then that event needs to be processed. Okay, then we are, as a programmer, we need to process that particular event. So all the all these user interactions are referred as an event. So the JSF framework provides an event-based programming model, okay, which can capture the events. Then we have to process that event. There are two things, okay, for processing that particular event. One is that, okay, we need to know that event, which particular event it is generated. Then we can process that particular event accordingly. Okay. So we'll see that, okay, how we can do that. Okay, what are the different kind of your event which will be there. There are two different kind of your event which will be generated by the JSF. That is nothing but your application events and the life cycle events are the two different kind of your events generally which we can find in the JSF event model. Now, application event, what are the application events are there? What is life cycle events? I think application events which we are talking about button click or entering the value from a text field, or selecting some item in the combo box, selecting the checkbox, or maybe clicking on a radio button, all that comes under the application events. Those which are generated by performing the actions on the UI component, maybe mouse event or a keyboard event. If that are the your events which is performed, that will be called as an application event. And there are two different kind again. Okay, the application event again, it can be two different types. That is called your action events and value change events. Action events are those events like clicking on a button, that will be comes under the action event. Value change event is just like selecting an item from the combo box, or maybe you can enter the value in the text field. That all will come under the value change event, or maybe a property value which you are changing. That will comes under the value change event. So these are the two different type of events generally which you can find in the application event. Now the other event which I said the life cycle event, and as you know that okay, in a JSF life cycle, for a total application there will be a certain life cycle which will be there. So to understand that life cycle event, and in a particular phase if you want to do any work or if you want to write any code, in that case we need to use the life cycle events also. Life cycle event again, okay, they are automatically generated, okay, which is during the execution of the JSF request processing life cycle. And there are two different types which is there, that is phase event and system event are the two different type of your events generally which you can be implemented in the JSF event modeling. So application event again two types, okay, action event and value changed event, whereas okay, life cycle event again two types, that is phase event and system event are the two different types which will be. Just like a servlet lifecycle methods, how we are implementing, similarly here also there is an event which will be generated to you. Okay, so there you can write the code also. So this is the way how it will be implemented. So you have okay the events, where exactly in which phases the event which will be generated, that you can see. So this is the life cycle of JSF, which we already know, right? Everybody knows that okay, this life cycle of that okay, restore view phase or apply request values or process validation phase, update model values phase, or invoke application phase, or a render response phase also. These are the 6 different okay, your events, 6 different life cycle phases which we generally find in the case of your JSF. Here we want to specify each and every event where exactly it will happen. In the restore view phases, okay, we will not have any kind of your action event or any event. We can have phase event, because phase event is a life cycle event. So phase event can occur here. Apply request value phase, there also phase event can occur. Process validation phase, we can have here action event can come into the picture here. Okay, so every time phase event will be the part, because phase event which will be executed okay, will because it is based on the life cycle events. So for each your life cycle phases, okay, the phase event will be occurred, and there will be the phase event will have a certain method, and it is going to return you different values depending on the type of your life cycle event which has occurred. It may be restore value and all. Where we can call the callback. Life cycle method will not have number of callback methods. One callback method, but different values it will be returned. Based on that, okay, we can find that okay, whether it is a request restore page, or whether it is an invoke application page, or update model values page. So, okay, one method, but different values it will be returned to you. So that is what by which we can know that, okay, which phase it is. Update model value phase also will have the phase event, invoke application phase, handle the action event, handle the value change event. So if any kind of your event which has occurred in the invoke application, because in the invoke application, you click on the submit button, you click on the radio button or anything which is going to happen, that is called your invoke application phase. And render response phase, again the phase event will happen. So if you see that, okay, mostly we get action event, okay, which will be after the apply request values phase which will be occurred, and okay, these events, whatever it has been generated, it will be handled by the invoke application phase after that. But every time the phase event, okay, which will be taken care. So please remember these particular phases also. We can see also that, okay, these particular phases like apply as a restore view phase or apply request value phase. Okay, when the JSF life cycle runs, okay, we can see these particular phases also. There will be certain values for each particular value, okay, each particular phases. So that we will see, okay, in a programmatically how to run, that we will see now. So to capture the event, a set of Java classes are provided by the Jsfhs framework, okay, and these classes are used to recognize the type of event, okay, whether it is an action or it is a value change or whether it is a page type of event. So to recognize that, okay, there are classes which are being provided. So after identifying that particular one, then what type of event, okay, it is associated with an event handler, and event handler is the code, okay, where method which you are writing for handling that particular event and all. So this association is done by the implementing event listeners. So to handle the event, we need to create a user-defined Java class. We'll create that, then implement the listener interface according to the type of event generator, and provide the definition for all the methods of the interface. So we'll write a user-defined Java class for handling this event also. Then implement the listener event interface. Depending on the type of event it has been generated, it may be an action, it may be value change, it may be phase. Okay, type of listeners we need to use. Accordingly, the event has been generated. Then we need to override the methods, because listeners are interfaces. So obviously we need to override the methods, and in that methods we need to write the code. I think it is not a very different code, because how we are writing an event classes also in the case of your GUI phase, the same, okay, we need to implement even in case of your JSF also. There also for a button, if I want to write a code, we need to write a class by implementing the action listener. We need to write the action performed method, and we need to pass the action event object to that action performed method, and we write the code in the action performed. Similarly, here also we need to create a class, we need to implement that listener interface, then we need to override the method, and we need to write the code also. So the same, okay, implementation in case of your event handling, how we do in case of your GUI, similarly we can be implementing over here. And these are the different type of your event which is there. You can see that, okay, the hierarchy of the event, that is java.util.event object. From that you have event.faces event. From faces event we have the two events, that is action event and value change event are been derived. And from event object directly there is a phase event, okay, which has been derived from the event object only. So this is the hierarchy of the event classes. Obviously like that, okay, we have the listeners also. We have the topmost listener is the event listener. From that, okay, faces listener. From faces listener we have action listener and value change listener. For action listener interface we have process action. For value change listener we have process value change, which is there. Right? Then we have in the phase listener we have before phase, after phase, and get phase ID. Now, okay, before phase and after phase, okay, where you'll write the code, and get phase ID, as I told you, that, okay, get phase ID is a method where it will return, okay, the value, and depending on the what type of value it is returning, we can tell that whether it is an restore page or apply request value page or a process validation page or update value page or a invoke or a render page. What type of, okay, page it is running, by get phase ID we can know, depending on the return value of the get phase ID. And that get phase ID you can call in the before phase method or the after phase method, and we can print that value. Accordingly, we can find that, okay, whether it is a restore phase or anything. This is what we can talk about. So we need to write this particular code and all. Okay, so I need to create a simple class like this. This is my event class. How we can create? You have to create a class. Here I have created a class called as handle event class, which is implementing the action listener. Okay, is an interface for implementing the action event. We need to override the method called as process action method. We need to pass the action event object, and this action event object will contain that which particular component has generated that event. Okay, that we can be specified from this action event object also. Any questions here? Till this, any questions? If you have, you can ask. I want everyone to respond. Any questions? Action listener will contain action performed method. Only definition, because action listener is an interface. Okay, action performed is a method. But here it is nothing but your process action method. Yes, action listener will contain, but this action listener is different, right? Okay, Arun. Okay, so this action listener is containing process action method. This is in the package. You can see that. Okay, this is in the package. The package called as Jsfhs.faces.event.action-listener. But whereas in the case of which action which you are talking, that is we'll have no. Not like that. That is in the JavaX.awt.event package which is there. Okay, so in that action listener which is available. But this is in the JavaX faces.event package which is there. This is common. Even you have I'll tell you. It is not only that. You have date time is there. Date object.
Yes.
Date object, you will be finding java.util also. You will also find a date object in java.sql also. Is it ambiguity? No, right? Okay, there are two different packages.
Okay, the package is different. So we can create the anonymous also. Anonymous, if I don't want to implement the process action at a single time, so I can create the anonymous type also.
But how you will write? Because this particular class, I need to specify in the button. There what we will use to write is within the button we need to write the code. But here where you will write? You cannot write in the JSF, right? Because this class we need to be specify in the command button. In the command button we have a tag. In that tag we need to write this class. So if you write anonymous class, how we can represent that?
So that means each and every time we have to define a new class for every event.
Yes. We have to specify here a class. Here we need to write a specific class. I did not get you.
It's time consuming. It's a time consuming concept.
No.
It will take time if I define each and everything. If I define event for each and every time, that means it is time taking.
No. But tell me one thing. Even in a case of your anonymous class also, are you not writing the code? Only thing is that you may say that maybe in an anonymous class you write in a single file number of anonymous class. Number of anonymous class we write. But here we will be having number of files maybe. That is one thing it will be there. But however in a JSF we will not write that type of event handling code what we are writing for in Windows. We will not have that many events, right?
Okay, okay. But it will load on server now. It will create too many classes each and every time. It's a different thing. In the Anonymous, classes are created, but if we are creating the manually, it will it's a load on server.
No, no, no. Even anonymous also, it will create its own class, right? Even that
Class,
it's not
yes,
process-wise. It is better. Your anonymous class is not process-wise better also. Don't think that okay, that is giving any kind of your
It's just for the
extra
abstraction.
performance to you. Same. Only you can avoid the class name without creating a new class. But okay, there is, if you go through the code, it will create a class file, right? Okay, separate class file it will create.
Yeah.
Class code, right? So
It's a
where
sign of
that
color.
internally when it is implementing, it is a different class only.
If I define my own method, then in this method I'll create the anonymous. Then it will work.
No,
If I
by this
define the
also,
two or
because
four-
see, I will tell you why it cannot work here, because you need to specify like this. You need to specify like this. For a input text, I need to specify like this. Value change listener type is equal to this. How you can specify here anonymous? There, because we used to write the code, okay, that's why we can specify the anonymous. Because here we have to write in a tag, that's not been possible. So please do not compare with that.
Okay, we have to define the class name. We have to define the class name, not the method name.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
We have to register the listener. Okay, Pallavi, this is what the registering, what you have to do. Like a text field, it is registering with that value change listener. You can see that, okay, handle event. That is what you generally say registering, right? So accordingly, we have to do that. So for a button, if you want to register that, okay, then you can write like this. Command button value equal to submit action listener type is equal to my package dot handle event. So by this, okay, command button is registering with this particular event listener class. So this is where we have to register that. Alright, so that's the way how you can register the events, okay, event classes to the different your UI component also. So tomorrow I will show you that, okay, this method, how we can implement the events and all that we are going to see with a demo. And also we'll see that, okay, how we can implement the phase event also. Okay, so that we are going to discuss tomorrow. All right. And I just want to give my email ID. If you want any support, anything, okay, you can write it to me directly. I just want to provide my email ID. My email ID. If anyone has not able to receive the files, okay, you can write to me, okay, to this email ID, then I can, okay, get back to you. GUI we can use actually some of the tools which we can use Arun also, okay, for drag and drop purpose also we can use. Okay, fine then. So we'll stop it over here, and tomorrow we'll have to meet again at 11 o'clock only. So 11 to 3:30 tomorrow also we have. Okay, then we'll be discussing, okay, about the other things about the event handling, and we'll do the demo and navigation demo also, which we have to do. Okay, one demo which we have to do that, and okay, we'll be moving to the next part, that is nothing but your managing the layout and Ajax based implementation also, how we can do that we are going to discuss tomorrow. I'll upload that. Okay, yes, Saturday also there is a class. Yes, Saturday also there is a class. Yes, we have. Okay, so most probably Saturday we are going to start with your Hibernate. Okay, so tomorrow we'll try to complete as much possible of JSF, or else, okay, it will go to the Saturday. Okay. So please see to the schedule which Narendra has sent. Okay, please see to the schedule also. Fine. Thank you. Have a nice day. We'll meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Bye from my end.